Hi everyone. I believe we had a lot of disturbance in our Candid Talks with Moms. In order to for everybody's convenience, I'm going to delete that video and we are redoing the entire Candid Talks with Moms. Sorry about that, and thank you for your patience. I'm going to get go ahead and get Abreka to join us in a while. So bear with us. Thank you. So this is going to take maybe a minute or two. So just hang in there, and we'll be live in a short while. And I seriously feel I'm really sorry that this happened. It does happen at times that you're all set, but technology gives way. So give me a minute, okay, Abreka? I'm just trying to get you in. Yes, I can see you. I'm just sending the invite. I've sent you the invite. It'll take a while for you. Once you get the invite, just let me know, okay? And I hope there's no disturbance this time. So a very warm welcome to all you wonderful women out there. As I said that this is a new initiative that is there for our group Motherhood to Careerhood, Candid Talks with Moms, where I will invite somebody from our group to speak about their journey and inspire other women. At the same time, in any way, if they can help somebody from our group, if somebody is interested in a particular subject in which you are an expert, they can maybe reach out to you and gain your expertise. So in a way, we are basically trying to build sisterhood, because I feel that women, when we help one another, there is a better chance for us to progress, to succeed. And we're not just helping somebody, we in a way are gaining a lot of expertise and insights into our own expertise. All right, so let's try and bring her in. So I have already sent her an invite. Just give me another 2 minutes. All right. Abreka, did you get the invite to join in? Yeah, it's taking its own sweet time. Okay, so now we're going to have Abrekha join. We're going to start the session, Candid Talks.
Hi, Farida.
Hi, I guess this is much clearer, right?
Absolutely no disturbances now.
All right, great. So good, we figured out, and that's what technology does. We think that it is much better than us, but I guess we humans are still much better because we came all prepared, but somewhere something did not work. So that is what life is all about. Nor that is how we humans are built to just make changes with everything and the way we are dealing with the pandemic. So very warm welcome to you, Abreka. And like I said, like I mentioned that when I started Motherhood to Careerhood, I launched my online program in 2017. I really wanted to do this talk with women of our group, but it somehow never happened. And the other day, when you sent me a request that you would like to collaborate or do something with me, I was just wondering how on earth am I going to collaborate with her? But after speaking to you, the moment I put the phone down, everything just fell in place. I decided on the name of the show we'll have, or the series that we'll have. I created the flyer. Everything just happened that very evening or that very day. So that itself says a lot, that when you have a desire, the universe just responds to it. It's just that you need to sometimes give it some time. It happens that these things may take a while. So for me, maybe it took 3 years, but it did happen. And a big thank you to you to encourage and inspire me to do something for the group once again. So a very warm welcome to Abrekha. She is a software engineer, and we already put it in the post, who is a working mother and a mother of two children. So that's quite a handful. I feel I can't manage one sometimes. So a very warm welcome to you, and thank you for wanting to be a part of this wonderful session, the first Candid Talks with Moms on Motherhood to Careerhood. So a very warm welcome, and over to you.
So thank you very much, Farida, for this wonderful opportunity. The pleasure is all mine. So hi, a very good evening. I'm Abrekha Jain Sehlot, a software engineer and mother of two boys, Daksh and Nabhanyu, 5 years and 10 years. So I started my career in 2006. I was campus placed, and in 2008 I had to relocate to Mumbai after my marriage. Then I was in US for some time, but then I had to come back to India to welcome my first child. So basically, I stepped down a little bit professionally and took a less challenging role at office, which helped me attain a work-life balance. But one thing I always did was to have one hobby which kept me going and motivated always whenever, there were times when I felt low or something. So, having a hobby, maybe whenever children were sleeping or over the weekends, whenever I got time, I always pursued my hobbies, which kept me going. And even today, in these pandemic situations, when there are added responsibilities, when there are no maids and all, still I, chase my dreams. And I explain this to my husband and children that the way I love you, the way I love my dreams as well. And fortunately, they understand it, and perhaps they don't have any other option, I believe. Um, having said this, having said this, I ensure that I don't miss out on my any important official meeting. At the same time, I ensure that I'm attending their sports meets and annual meets. So it's all about balancing and planning a little bit proactively and taking small steps one day, each one step, and setting small goals. Things will not be perfect from day one, but you have to have that one day to get started. And with that positive note, over to you, Farida.
Wow, that's really amazing, Abreka. I mean, being in the US and wanting to come back after your first kid, that must be quite a challenge, and many of us wouldn't even want to do that. So, what was it that made you? I guess at some point you also contemplated that after the second one, you would not be able to continue. So, what made you stick around? Uh,
Yes, definitely. Looking at my circumstances, it was quite natural for me to feel because my husband is a banker and he's been traveling extensively. I did not have any family support then because my in-laws were working and parents were unwell to support. So, there was a point where I thought that, I have to quit the job. But if you ask me what made me stick around were a couple of things, the one being, so basically it was my perseverance, focus, or wisdom, if you can say. So when I say perseverance, I essentially mean that, I always explore things. I always try my best. And even if I fail, that's fine. At least I don't have that regret I did not try. So during my maternity break, also I was catching up on my emails and I was reaching out to my personal network. I believe the personal network which you have is the biggest career asset which you make. Okay, so I reach out to my seniors, colleagues, and try to find that if there's any role suitable for me, which could allow me little flexibility to be, to enable me to balance both work and life. And fortunately I got that. And when I say focus, I kept myself updated. So little time whichever I had, I kept on reading so that nobody could say that I was on a career break, that kind of. So I kept myself apprised. I kept reading a little bit about technology because we know how dynamic everything is. And when I say wisdom, I had gracefully accepted, I have, gracefully embraced the motherhood. So I accepted that, now the life is going to be a little more stressful. It is not going to be same. And I may not be the super achiever at all. So, I may not be best at everything, but definitely I can try best in my capacity. So I had accepted that, the designations, I wasn't over ambitious. And, I knew that maybe, my professional life could slow down, but no regrets because I think your personal growth is more important and other things can hold for some time, but the childhood would not come. So these all things and helped me continue with my work post motherhood.
Yeah, that's such an important point that you brought up, that uh, you did not think that I can have everything. I can be at the top of my career, look at my promotions, and be in the US at the same time, have my two kids. You made a very conscious decision, and that's what is very appreciable. And I feel that everybody should we need to understand that once you become a mother, unless you have that super duper support coming from, like, maybe in-laws and the nanny and everything, it is not very really easy to go after an ambition and go after motherhood, because children after some time they really grow up and they don't need you. So that is when all that you know feeling comes that, oh shit, I shouldn't have left my job, or I should have continued, and things like that. So great that you did what you really understood was best for your personal growth. That is very important. Great. So now that we are in this pandemic and everybody is even men are working from home, do you think that the corporate sector will be more welcoming towards mothers now to join, to allow them to do work from home, which earlier was not looked at it as an option. They always wanted youngsters, and they always wanted people to take people from the campus and give opportunities to younger youngsters. But with this pandemic, so many people are working from home, including men. Do you think mothers do have an opportunity now to get back into a corporate career and work from home?
Absolutely, the mindset and work culture of people will change, and this is one of the good things which happened in this pandemic. And as I said, it's not only for women. For men also, work from home or the flexi arrangements are beneficial because they might have ailing parents or they might have some medical issues. So the whole work culture should be very inclusive and diverse and should not be gender biased. Other and also, an employee, if they are more peaceful, they are more productive. Instead of having a
Yes.
mechanical life, they'll have a more productive life, a peaceful life, and they can have time for themselves, their family. And I think a happy employee is a great asset for the company. So definitely, I think after the pandemic, if not 100% workforce, but at least certain percentage of workforce should be allowed to avail these flexi arrangements. If not all the days, but at least few days. And I'm sure the mindset and work culture will change after this. I support that.
Yeah, we really hope so. At least most of the mothers are feeling that this should really bring about change, and it should not be gender specific. Even sometimes men need that. So more inclusiveness is required, definitely. So moving on to my next question, uh, what would your advice be to the women of our group who wish to come back? So, how do you think they should go about preparing themselves if they are looking at working again?
It's a very interesting question. Basically, we need to plan and prepare before we actually execute or implement. Okay. So the very first thing which, I can tell from my experience and, talking to a lot of women where they default is that first is you need to arrange your logistics. Now, irrespective whether you would be going back to work to the same organization or starting afresh, or for that matter, stay at home, very important is to have logistics in place. It essentially means that you should have some productive hours for yourself, so just don't be afraid of asking help from maybe your in-laws or parents or spouse for that matter. And in parallel, just arrange the logistics of, or maybe having a nanny or a daycare, so while you're away from the child, he or she is taken care well. So that kind of logistics is very important. That's the very first thing I would say. And another thing which in parallel is very important is to understand your true calling and your real happiness. Okay, so in my case, I realize that I'm more happy when I'm working. So, and so you need to understand that what really makes you feel happy and motivated in your life, because I've seen a lot of women, who are very, very happy being just a homemaker. And at the same time, I've seen women who are sad being a leader. So it's all about an individual choice and where is your true calling and happiness. And once you realize, you align your actions accordingly. Now, again, if you plan to go back to your previous organization, you now need to reach out to your personal network, which is the asset you have built. You need to reach out to your colleagues, your seniors, and check for a job profile which could help your needs and, which could suit you. So that's one thing. And you need to keep yourself updated in terms of technology. Or if you want to start a fresh, like a couple of my friends, they started their own YouTube channel or they started blogging. They had a different career after motherhood. So again, as I'm saying, so again, you need to plan and prepare for that as well, that how much amount of money, cost, effort and time you'll be able to invest. And try to understand. And first and foremost thing is that you need to be mentally prepared. You need to know that what you're getting into, and life is not going to be the same as before. So it's going to get a little stressful. So try to prepare yourself mentally. Be ready to accept the challenges. And I'm sure we women are multitaskers, and we women have a lot of potential, and if we don't come out of our comfort zone, I'm sure we're going to rust. So I think you just plan and prepare, and I'm sure we all can achieve what we want. Everything is within us.
Yeah, so such a valid point that we need to know our true calling and get out of a comfort zone. This is so difficult. Even for me, at times it's difficult, and I'm sure for many of us. We have a comfort zone, so getting onto this live itself was getting out of my comfort zone, right? So oh, you rightly said, otherwise we will rust. And yeah, finding a happiness, if you're really happy doing what you're doing, nothing like it. So before and yeah, and one more thing that you really said is the network. So I just wanted to check if you, like, sometimes people, women get married, and they go to a different city altogether, and maybe they've lost touch, or that particular organization is not there in that city. In that case, what should they do if they want to work again?
So as I said, they can always start afresh, but then they need to prepare for that. So do some kind of homework before you actually get into it, to avoid stress later on as much as you can. See, real thing will happen only when you start everything on ground. Having said this, as I said, if you want to start a new channel, or a new website or something, or a new small business, first try and prepare and then try your hand. So proper preparation happens. And when you say networking today, social media is very powerful. There are a lot of WhatsApp groups or say social media groups for I think almost everything. And there are
Yes.
women support groups like us. We all are here to help each other. So I think they can definitely, if they don't have any previous network, they can always make new friends. And we women are wonderful in making friends and continuing the friendship. So I'm sure they can add on to their network, or they can build a new network. Absolutely.
Great. So that's a very good takeaway, that yeah, you have to build a new network, and women are good at a lot of things. They just need to again get out of their comfort zone and connect with the right people who are willing to help them also. So one more thing I had to ask you is that when you sent a little information about yourself, you sent me such beautiful posts that you've written, so when did you actually, and that is one of your passions, I believe, so when did you start blogging, and how did you go about, how do you manage having a career, having two children, at the same time do follow your passion also?
Often people ask me the same thing, and I always answer them saying that everyone has 24 hours only. And I firmly
Yes.
believe that something which you like, you always make time for that. Okay, let it be watching a movie or going out or eating. So you definitely whatever you like. So when it comes to writing, I was very fond of writing. For me, it was a kind of a meditation or a freedom of expression for me, and I was very fond of writing since my childhood. However, after becoming a mother, I had a lot of experiences to share. And when I started off, I never knew that it's going to benefit so many. And, I could be able to share my blessing with fellow women, and they could also implement those best practices and get benefited. So that motivated me. And then being a key speaker at International Women's Day in a couple of my organizational events, I saw, my experiences could help people, and that gave me immense happiness. And as I said, whenever I used to help anybody, the tenfold, I used to get a lot of blessings back. So so that is
Mm.
that what made me kept me writing, and I still continue to do that.
Yeah, that's such a lovely thing, that when we help somebody, it's not just helping someone else, we are actually helping ourselves, because we get it back tenfold. So that's really wonderful. And before before we can conclude this, one last thing I had to ask you, that if somebody from the group would like to reach out to you for some help, in what way would you be able to help some of the members of our group?
So definitely, Farida, as I said, again, helping people give me a lot of happiness, but I can only help in my capacity, and I'll try my best to do that. So the first thing I can help them is to share my first-hand experiences, because, I'm not reading anything, I'm not referring anything, I'm not listening. It's what I have already, felt, and I've lived with those. So, I can give my first-hand experiences in case they're in a dilemma of choosing a nanny or a daycare, just like that. There are a lot of experiences which they can, they can reach out. I'm just an email away. I'm in this group. They can reach out to me anytime when they want, and I'll try to get back to them at the earliest. So, the one thing is I can always share them my experiences. It may not be a best decision for them, but each one to their own. But of course, I can tell them that what benefited me, and I can definitely connect them if they're especially in Mumbai or in and around my area. I can definitely connect with those, maybe the daycare centers or the schools and whatever kind of help I know. The second is, for the non-tech people, I can suggest them the courses which they can do to upskill them. For technical also, whatever knowledge I have, so I can definitely guide them that how they can upskill themselves, or which skills are required in market now, or what they can upskill themselves to. Um, I can definitely connect them with like-minded women. So today in my personal network, I have my own network. So today, if I am not able to help them directly, I can definitely connect them with some women who could, help them. So connecting like-minded women would, in turn help them in some or the other way. And last but not the least, they can send their resumes to me, and I can try referring them in my organization. However, I everything is based on merit, but I will try in best of my capacity. So as I said, I'm just an email away. So any help, I would be more than happy to help anyone in the group or elsewhere.
Thank you so much, Abreka. The very fact that you're willing to even have somebody's resume, sent to you. Most of the times, we women send their resumes to so many people, but if the getting it to the right person is the most important thing, then anything else can happen, and they can work on their interviewing skills and the presentation skills and whatever. But that first break only they are not getting. How will they? uh, the question rises that my resume is not reaching the right person, what can I do? But you are willing to give them that opportunity, which is wonderful and very kind of you. And all those who are listening, all those who listen to us later on also, please do reach out to her, and she is willing to help. And that's the main reason I invited her on this candid talks, which is all about sisterhood. And I feel the more and more we women get together and help each other, it's not only going to benefit us, but as a community, as it's going to help each one of us to succeed and fulfill our dreams. So it was so wonderful having you on this very first candid talks, Abreka. A very big thank you to you for inspiring me also to do something for the group. And you literally pushed me that okay, you also get out of your comfort zone and do something. So a big thank you to you. And before we leave, before we end, is there anything else that you would like to share or talk about?
I would just like to thank you once again and all the viewers for their time. So it's not only your dream, it is my dream also. I wanted to do this long time. So thank you so much. And as I said, I'll just, this is one thing which I always tell in my, mostly in my parenting and women forums, whatever I address, that every woman should have a hobby. Please try to pursue that because that's going to help them in a long run. That will give them happiness. So just look up, find and shine with a purpose because whatever we are, seeking outside is all within us. So with this, I just want to thank and wish everybody a wonderful weekend. And thanks for your time again.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Abreka. Everything that you said makes a lot of sense. So thank you all of you all who care to join us live, and all those who will be watching us post. I post the recording is posted in the group. Do reach out with your comments, and like I said, we are here to help one another. So with that, I would like to end this very first candid talks with moms. And once again, a very what do you call, I appreciate your time, and a big thank you to you, Abreka. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you for your
Certainly.
time.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Bye bye.
everyone. Thank you. Bye.